Wendy here, and today I'm going to be doing my very first Q&A. So, I didn't receive that many questions in my last video, but I think I have enough to make a video. I'm going to be using not only questions that I got in my last video, but questions I've gotten since I started up my channel. I have gotten a few, so I'm going to try to be answering those, and I'm also going to be DOS my ringtone, sorry. I'm also going to be doing some questions that I've gotten over, I guess, the years of my tics. It's not that many also because since not that many people know I have tics or they don't want to bring it up or anything, I haven't gotten that many questions. But the questions I have been asked, I'm going to be addressing those as well. Okay, so let's get started. My very first question comes from Kelvin Carson, and he asked, do you see your Tourette's as a burden? Now, this is a very interesting question because, as you guys can see, my tics aren't that overwhelming. They're very prominent in my face and my body and everything, but I wouldn't say that they're so overwhelming. A lot of people have really bad tics that overwhelm their whole lives, and mine are on the other hand, since they're very mild, they're just there kind of. So I wouldn't say they're that much of a burden overall, but there are times, if you guys were to ask me the question, if you can get rid of your tics, would you? I would probably say yes. And it's not because, sometimes I say, oh, I like my tics because they're part of my personality. Come on now, my name is the Tic Bunny. But sometimes when they get very, very bad, especially the one in my head or my hands sometimes, nobody likes being in pain, and sometimes my tics get so bad that I shake my head uncontrollably, my neck starts hurting, my head starts hurting, and the thing is that I have to keep doing it. It's not something oh, my head hurts there, I can stop. No, I have to keep going no matter how much my head hurts. And sometimes right now they're very, very mild, I'm hardly doing any. So I'm fine with it, but then the days that it does get very bad, those are the days I'm just oh, just go away. That's pretty much it. But knowing that I can't get rid of my tics, it's not something that I'm just I can't live with this the rest of my life. But again, that is because mine aren't that bad. If I was in somebody else's position where their tics are very, very bad, it's they can't lead normal lives. That's I don't know how to explain it, but I understand how Tourette's could be seen as a big burden, but thankfully I don't see mine as that much of a burden because they're not really. I try to downplay it because again, there's people that are worse off than I am. If I'm explaining myself correctly. Okay, so this question comes from my very first video. I'm sorry I can't read that name. It's in a different language. But they ask, how long can you? Let's see. Oh, how long can you hold your tics while I'm hiding them? So, if I am to be holding my tics, let's say in public, where that's primarily where I hold my tics. If I'm holding in my tics, I can't hold them all that long, all of them all that long. So if let's say all together without doing not one tic, probably maybe 30 seconds, maybe. And let me see. Let me try. I can try right now. No, it might take that. It might not that be long. Okay, let me try right now. Okay. No, oh shoot! I did it. I did my nose one. Well, it's because I was trying to do it. It's hard because it's not that I can't control them. It's just that I do them so much that even I do it kind of subconsciously. So yeah, this one happens all the time. So what was that, a couple maybe 10 seconds that I held them in. So even if I'm in public, I'm still doing tics all the time, especially these the really subtle ones, eyes, everything like that. Especially throat, I probably can't stop all that long either. But let's say the big grimaces, the shakes, the hopping, I started a new one that's a kind of a coughing one. Well, not the hacking one, because I know I talked about that. It's not a hacking one anymore. It goes kind of if I'm sneezing, I could pass that one off really good. But sometimes it gets really loud. I can suppress that one kind of, but I would have to do the small ones. So yeah, I can go maybe without any tics. I could probably go 30 seconds or however long you saw me do it right now. And and just like doing subtle ones without really big ones, I could probably go like the whole day until I get home. But I would probably like let like 1 or 2 big ones out throughout the day so that people continue. They also asked what happens after you're holding in your tics. So the days that I go the whole entire day holding in my tics, I will, once I get home, I'll like, let's say like, I'll relax basically. So like, that means that like I won't watch what I'm doing anymore. So I'll be doing my grimaces. I'll be like, my most comfortable place is just in my room because no one's here and I can just like, just like, you know, unwind and do all my tics and everything without like bugging anyone either, because I don't like bugging my family that much. With like, let's say I'm out there and they're trying to watch TV and I'm out there coughing. So yeah, that's what happens when I'm holding in my tics. If one time I played a game where I had to stand still without doing anything, like it was like a dare kind of. It was like we played dumb games sometimes, so they're like, you can't do anything, and I was like, I'm very competitive, so I was really trying not to do anything, and like I guess out of frustration, like my eyes started getting teary, and I won though, but it cost me my shame. Okay. Another question comes from the same user as the last question, but in a different video. They asked, I heard that Tourette's has good days and bad days. What does that mean? And can you show the difference? So basically what that means is that, like how I was explaining in the beginning, that basically what that is like, some days your tics are very mild. Like some days I could go all day without doing my hopping one, without doing my throat, my like really loud throat ones. Like sometimes they're very, very mild. You could barely get like face ones. And then other days they are just very, very like out. Like you have every single tic that you have, even some that you haven't done in a while, and they're very prominent. Like you're doing them constantly, and you're doing them very how do you say it? Like everybody can tell that you're having like a lot of tics. So I'm shaking my head all the entire day. That's usually when my head starts hurting, or when I start doing like my bigger tics like really hard and very often. That's when like I start feeling like pain with them, or like my arm ones, like I'll start feeling it, and then and sometimes it's not usually just good days and bad days. It'll, like for me, it's usually like good weeks and bad weeks, because when the bad weeks start coming in, it's like that entire week or that entire 2 weeks, my tics are very bad. Like, so it's not like, oh, one day I wake up and it's like good or bad. Like it usually, for me, it usually goes weeks. So right now I've been kind of, I wouldn't say good and I wouldn't say bad, but more good than bad, because I've been having pretty bad tics, but not bad ones. So with tics, you usually like, there's some that you prefer. Well, at least I do. Some that like don't hurt me at all. Like let's say for my eyes, this doesn't bother me. Like it's just on my face. Like these, they're just happening and they don't hurt. So that's why I like them. But there's other ones like any of my neck ones, I hate all of those, because like let's say I'm doing this and a couple times it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt, because when I was small, I would do this one a lot. It doesn't hurt, but imagine doing that every second, every hour, every day for a whole week. Yeah, it starts hurting you. So like some of the tics, like you don't like them, and like I even try to stay away from those, because if I remember them, I'll start doing them, and then like it's like really bad to get out of it. So that's what sometimes if you hear good days and bad days, it just means like some days like the tics are very bad. And like I've heard that sometimes they're related to stress and stuff like that, and that might be true. Because I have another thing where I bite the skin around my fingers. You can kind of see it, and when I'm really stressed out, that's when it happens the most. And I see that I do get more ticky when I get stressed out or excited. Like if I'm playing games, or like if I'm gonna do something, I start ticking out a lot. So yeah, that's what it is. Another question comes from Hell Yeah, that's his username, and he says, do you have the hard blinking tics sometimes? I'm assuming he's talking about, or she is talking about this one, and I have had that one in the past. I do have it sometimes where I do something very weird. I'm sorry if I'm gonna look very ugly right now, but I curl my eyelids kinda, and then I close shut on them. And I usually do that, and I did it a lot when I started learning how to drive. Oh my goodness, when I'm driving, my hand one and my eyes won't go crazy. Like it's like a rolling one that I do, and like I roll it back. Like I have to hit like I guess all the side. Like It's like kind of like when you know when you're like scraping a bowl or something, you kind of do it with your eyes, like you go as far back as you can like that, rolling, and then you close it like blinking. And then sometimes if I'm concentrating really hard, I'll do this. So yeah, nowadays it's like it has gone down a lot since before. I would do this one like a lot when I was younger, but now I'll only do it if I have to concentrate on something or if I'm driving or something. But the one I do the most is like I roll my eyelids and then I close it shut. I don't know if I'm like demonstrating it good enough, but yes, I do have the hard blinking tick. Oh, and then this is another question from Kelvin Carson. He had said, is my name Whitney or Wendy? And I know I talk very fast, but my name is Wendy. Like Gwendolyn? Ah, that's me, Wendy. So, Alvaro Abe? I'm sorry, I am so bad with names. I'm like, I don't know. But Alvaro Save or something, someone else asked a question saying, what happens if I have a tick, but like, basically saying like if I have like a tick and I'm constricted. So like let's say, I don't know, I'm in handcuffs, like I don't know what I did, but I'm in handcuffs, or like I don't know, someone ties me down, and if I have a tick. So the worst thing that could happen to me, or I'm pretty sure any person that has Tourette's, is being constricted. So Tourette's and being constricted is the worst combination ever. So if I were ever to be like in a straitjacket and then be having like a bad fit of my tics, it is like disaster for me. So just thinking about it, you can see that like, so when I don't do a tick, or if I can't do a tick, I feel like I'm like suffocating, not drowning, but suffocating. Like I can't breathe. If I'm unable to do a tick, I can't breathe. And that goes along with like, let's say my compulsions. Like let's say sometimes I have to touch corners and stuff, and there's like it's happened in the past where I don't know, a corner's out of reach or something, or a lot that's happened in school is like before when I was in school, when teachers would write on a whiteboard and then they would erase it and they would leave like some marker stains up there. Like they didn't erase the whole thing. And like whenever I would get the chance, I would like go up to like, let's say sharpen a pencil or do something like that, and then I'd try to go erase it off the board. So throughout the whole class, if it stayed there, I would just be staring at that marker stain, and like my shoulders would start going crazy because it's like, I don't know, like it bugs me, let's say. It's like a thing. So kinda the same way with my compulsions and my tics. If I'm not able to do it, or I'm not able to satisfy it, I can't breathe. It's basically the same situation. So imagine you holding your breath. Let's say this is kind of an example. Let's say you have like an itchy nose, okay, and you have like your hands like tied up, and your nose is itching, you're going crazy, you want to scratch and you can't. But imagine not only that feeling of irritation, but like all of a sudden you can't like breathe. And you can physically, like me, I can like go, like I'm breathing just fine, but I can take as many breaths as I can, but I don't feel that like sense of like satisfaction. You know, sometimes you can't catch your breath no matter how much you're breathing. That's kind of the same feeling. Like I breathe like that, and even no matter how many gulps of air I get, I'm getting oxygen, I'm gonna stay alive, but I don't feel like I can breathe. Like I feel that uncomfortable, I can't breathe, and I have to do it. So it's like the most uncomfortable feeling that you could ever imagine. So it just like, everybody thinks that my head's just gonna like blow up if I don't do like a tick or something. That's not the case, but I am just completely uncomfortable. Like not just like, oh, I'm uncomfortable, like just something so overwhelming that like I can't deal with. It's like, I've been in that frustrating situation before, and trust me, like it takes time to get over it. Like you're trying to breathe, like you're just like imagine just like falling into the pool and drowning, and then like once you're taken out of the pool, you're still like oh, like I can't believe I was in that situation. Like that's basically what it is. So if there's one thing that I don't like, it's being constricted in any way. So that's why I feel like bad sometimes, because sometimes, here's a story. When I was younger, I still feel bad about this, even though I know it wasn't my fault, but I still feel bad. So my mom was hugging me, and I'm a very short person, and I was even shorter because I was younger, and I was like, she had her head on top of my head, and she was hugging me, and I was trying to control my tics so bad, because like I feel bad, I'm not gonna be like, Mom, get off of me. So I was like, kind of like shaking like that, and I kept going like that, and I couldn't stand anymore, and I hopped up and down, and I hit her right here, like on the chin with my head, and she was like, oh, why did you do that and that? And I felt so bad, and back then I wasn't that vocal about my tics, so I was just like, oh, I'm sorry, I almost tripped, or I did this and that, and I hit her on the chin, and I felt so bad. I was just like, if I would have just been like, hey Mom, let me go, or if I would have done that, I wouldn't have had to hit her on the head. And like I didn't do it like on purpose. It's just I'm telling you, it's a pressure that builds up on you until you like do it. So like I hopped up and I hit her and I felt so bad. Oh, even telling the story, I feel really bad. And I tell her nowadays, she's like, oh, it's okay. Like now that like I'm more open with her, I told her, I was like, I still feel bad about that. And she was like, no, it's okay. But yeah. So that's kind of, I don't really like, I can't get hugged for a long time. And like I guess like you can like link, like you can like kind of say it's like a claustrophobic effect. But it's like, I don't know, it's pretty hard to explain. So I think that's pretty much it. Well, I looked through all of my videos and those are most of the questions that I got. I hope I explained myself alright. I'm going to be answering some questions that none of you guys asked, and I'm sure none of you care, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I just wanna, I don't know, let you guys get to know me a little better. So my name is Wendy. I am 24 years old, and I've been having tics since my earliest memory of having tics is before I started kinder. I would hide. Okay, this is so creepy. I don't know if I've already told this story, but when I was small, I guess like, cause you know I have like intrusive thoughts and stuff. I guess I thought I was like possessed by the devil or something. And like, since I was a little girl, everybody knows that like the middle finger is like a really bad thing. But like I would like be like, I guess it was like I don't know how to explain it, but you get like an urge to do things. So like let's say this is my middle finger. Like I have an urge to lift up this finger as far as it goes and stuff. So I had that with the middle finger. And I would flip off like pillows. Like I would like because I didn't want anybody to see me. I thought I was like an evil little child. So I'd be like flipping off pillows, flipping off everything, and like I'd be doing it until like it satisfied the tic, and I'd be doing it all the time. And aside from that, I would hide behind the couch and shake my head as much as I could, and then go out like normal, like hey guys. And when I had the urge again, I'd like run behind the couch and then do it again. I don't know. So even since I was small, I guess since I never saw anybody doing tics, I thought I was like, hey, maybe everybody else tics and they're hiding or something. But I knew I was different in that sense, and I was like, well, I don't want it to call like to attention to to myself, so that's why I would hide it. And then so that's my earliest memory of having tics. And I always remember hiding it because in kindergarten, another memory that I have is that we didn't have backpacks in kindergarten. We made like these little paper folders that we would hang around our necks. I don't know if anybody else has that. I'm probably too old for that. I'm probably too old for you guys to remember that. So what I would do is it was a rectangular folder, and like you would put papers inside. So what I would do, I'd sit in my desk and I'd push the two corners open. So like let's say this is the folder, and like it opened up like that when I would push the two sides, and I'd shove my head in there and I'd start doing all my grimaces and everything, and then I'd come out and then I'd be like, oh yeah, hi guys. So I think I look more like a weirdo freaking shoving my head in my folder in front of everyone, trying to hide my tics, but I was just like the only weirdo is sitting in the middle of the room putting my head into their folder. Like I don't know what I thought, but apparently that's like what I don't know what I thought. But those are my earliest memories of me having tics, and I've had them like I haven't stopped since then. Like I wish I had like a year of hiatus. I was like, oh, I was tic free, but no. I've had them since then that I can remember. And the only thing that has happened is that let me see. No, I don't think anything's progressed. I guess it looks like I'm having them more now, but I've always had them about the same. It's just that I'm barely a year that I've told everybody that like, hey, you know what, I'm not gonna hide my tics anymore. So I guess they're noticing them more, obviously, because I'm not hiding them. So they're just like, oh, hey, you're doing tics more now, aren't you? I'm like, well, no, but I'm doing them more in front of you guys, kind of like that. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers this Q&A. I will have more in the future. I'm so happy because I know it's not that many, but I have 51 subscribers. So thank you guys all for sticking around. I'm trying to put more content on this, but I've been a little busy since I own my own business. Christmas time is kind of like hectic for me, so I'll try to keep content on this channel. But again, thank you guys for subscribing, and if you guys have any more questions, go ahead and ask me below. And yeah, till next time, bye guys.